And welcome back to the show. New Settlement envisions a vibrant, diverse, and equitable community in which all individuals and families have the power to make quality choices about education, employment, housing, wellness, and creative expression. Now, the organization collaborates with community residents and develops partnerships, creating services and opportunity that celebrate the inherent dignity and potential of individuals as well as families. New Settlement has made a noticeable difference in the quality of life in the neighborhood and is poised to do so in the future. Joining us now and sharing a little bit more about the work of their organization is the Executive Director of New Settlement. We're pleased to be joined by Rigaud Noel. And Rigaud, good to have you.
Good to be here, Daren. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Part of quality of life is having a quality neighborhood. I know the work that you do really specifies in trying to build up community and building it through a healthy neighborhood. So for somebody who may not know about New Settlement, please introduce yourself.
Sure. My name is Rigaud Noel. I'm the Executive Director of New Settlement. And it's interesting because we were actually founded close to 30 years ago. Our parent company actually bought 14 abandoned buildings here in the Mount Eden section of the Bronx. And they renovated it, and it was mainly for low-income families and those that were homeless. And from that, New Settlement was born because after the buildings were renovated, they wanted to provide programs for those residents. And New Settlement offered a variety of programs, and to this day, we service about 17,000 families in the Mount Eden section of the Bronx, providing a variety of services from after-school programs, college readiness programs. We have a food action or community organizing. And it really is important that we continue to invest in this community. As you know, the pandemic has really had a tremendous impact, and the fact that New Settlement stands ready to continue providing services, virtual and in person, really shows how much we are committed to this community.
Yeah, when we talk about the COVID, obviously, a couple of things really come to mind. Number one is unemployment. A lot of people actually lost their jobs during this COVID-19 pandemic and trying to really find their way back. And I know that some of the work that you do works in workforce development and really preparing people to try to enter into the workforce. And as we know, COVID has caused some changes to happen. How have you been able to connect with people and also position them for this challenge?
Well, I think the YAY program, the Young Adult Opportunity Initiative, is really the perfect program that addresses that need. We really engage with students that may have been disconnected from their families, from the community, really didn't have a sense of direction. And so we take them and provide them a 3-month intensive program where there's really 4 main components, right? So students first, they'll receive job readiness training, cover letter, resume writing. Second, they'll get one-on-one support with a youth advisor, having that person be there as sort of a mentor as they sort of go through this intensive program and the process. Third, we provide every student with National Safety Council CPR and first aid certification. And fourth, we provide them access to mutual aid peer groups. We want to make sure that they're talking to each other as they're going through this life-changing process. And it was so funny when we had the press conference with Assemblywoman Joyner. After the press conference, there was a student there. We sat in a circle, and he actually used his first aid certification and experience to save someone. And it's just the major things the things that we take for granted as a CPR certification. He said that that's something that he never thought he would have used, and the YOI program provided him that experience. And so you have other students that were going into fashion, other students in college because of the experience that they had with YOI. And this is the critical piece. Like, who will look out for our Black and brown children if were it not for this program, right? Who will help them? And I think that's why we were so excited that Assemblywoman Joyner invested $150,000 to really help us service more students, because even though it may be a drop in the bucket, it allows us to service 300 students.
And you talk about servicing students, that's preparing them for the future. And that's really what needs to be done. And you gave an excellent example of what happened like firsthand when you had a student actually administer CPR. Give me a little bit more on the background side, because when we talk about the background of your students, some of them come with some skill sets, some come with no skill sets, but by the time they leave, you definitely have them in a far greater position.
And that's thank you for mentioning that, Daren, because I think it's important to know that we are not the program that's selective, right? We don't want kids to be super prepared and that way they don't require much assistance in getting a job. We accept everyone that walks through our doors, and I think that's what separates us from some of the other nonprofits. It doesn't matter where they're coming from, what they're going through. We are going to help them get to where they want to be. And so we have some students where they may not have enough food to eat at night. They may have some housing security issues. We have some students suffering from mental health issues. And so yesterday we had a student that said they weren't ready to enter the workforce yet mentally, and they wanted some time, right? And so these are the types of students that we're dealing with. And what we are there to do is really provide them with the hope and the belief that they can do it with our help, right? And we want to empower them. We want to give them a sense of agency as they sort of go through this process.
And as you talk about the process, give us that. How long is the program, and how long do they have to participate?
And so the program is unique in that after the 3 months of training where they go through the job readiness component, they have the peer mentors, they have the youth advisor, and they have that CPR training, is that after those 3 months, the grant will provide 90 of those students will have job placement and internships guaranteed, right? Which is significant. And then also after they leave the program in the 3 months, they don't forget about us because we follow up with them, right? So it's not about after the 3 months, you're on your own. No, they become part of that family. And it's so interesting. Some of the staff at the Young Adult Opportunity Initiative are actually alumni of the program. And so it comes full circle where you have students that went through the program, continue to be connected, and we employ them so that way they can carry that message forward for the next generation.
And as you look at the young people today, you hear this saying, oh, they don't want to work. The truth of the matter is they do want to work. And sometimes there are these barriers and those challenges. You can tell better than I can. For somebody who wants some more information about what are some of the challenges when you're talking about these young people trying to enter into the workforce that maybe we're not paying attention to?
I think one of the biggest challenges it was so interesting when you get to hear their stories. One of the challenges is really that support system, and I can't stress that enough, right? I think Assemblywoman Joyner mentioned it. You need a support system, you need a mentor, you need someone to go to, you need access to that support system. And a lot of our young people don't have that access, right? They don't have that person that's pushing them to do better, that person that's saying, hey, how can I help you? And so we want to make sure that our doors are always open, right? Our staff are always available for our young people. If you have a question, we are there to answer it. If you need a shoulder to cry on, we are there to be there with you. If you are hungry, we are there to feed you. All of the barriers that prevent young people from succeeding, it can't be understated that they need someone to be their champion. They need that level of support. And so some of the young people that we encounter, the barriers can range from mental health issues, housing insecurity, hunger, all of these issues that we need to address those issues before they're even contemplating their next move in life. And so we want to make sure that we provide those resources for our young people so that way they can focus on their career, they can focus on their education.
COVID-19 has definitely had a huge impact on a lot of people. How did it affect the organization in terms of your connectivity with your clients?
So that was interesting because it forced us to rethink how we provide services. We really wanted to continue, and then we thought, I think we're able to do this, right? We're able to continue to service our families. We actually pivoted a lot of our programming to virtual. We provided one-on-one guidance counseling. We did wellness checks on all of our students. And during COVID, we actually still had the YAY program. It was still operating. We still had a class for the 3 months in COVID. And honestly, we kept moving, right? The community, as devastated as it was, continued to need con- continued to need the resources that we were providing, right? And that's not going to stop us from serving those that are desperately in need. And so we were able to continue our services remotely. We actually were able to provide food support. We had pop-ups. We were able to give out over 850 food bags in collaboration with Columbia University and Global Humanitaria. And we were able to provide stipends for students that were facing emergency need. So we were able to really provide as much as we can as an organization to the community. And I really just want to acknowledge the hard work of our staff, because during this time, let alone dealing with their own issues surrounding COVID-19, they really stepped up and really continued to be there and were committed to providing quality services for our families and our community. So really, really proud of the great staff that we have here at New Settlement.
Yeah. How'd you deal with the issue of food insecurity? Because were you finding that a lot of your families and your clients were in that need? Because one thing that became very prevalent during this time was the fact that there was a lack of jobs, and for many New Yorkers, a lack of food.
Yeah, that's a great point, Daren. We actually we partnered with two organizations, Global Humanitarian, Columbia University, and then we decided that, you know what, I think we can do our own food pop-ups, right? So we actually held food pop-ups every 2 weeks for the last, I want to say 6 weeks of program here in our community center, where we provided over 1,200 food bags for families that were in need. And then actually, we also partnered with United Neighborhood Houses, where we actually provided gift cards to families as part of our Juneteenth celebration for $150. And we provided that to over 150 families. So we met the need. We continue to seek partnerships that will help us address the food insecurities that are facing our community. We are working with United Way and potentially opening a food pantry here at the community center. And so we are looking for ways to continue to address that need.
Yeah. As we look towards the summer, I mean, we're right here in the thick of it right now, and we're glad the weather's warm. We're glad that people are coming outdoors, and you know, we're not out of the woods of COVID yet, but we're making it. What's been going on at New Settlement during the summertime?
We actually have had our biggest summer to date. We are partnering with the Department of Education on Summer Rising. We are actually servicing over 600 young people and students in our programs. We have our first ever, our community center, a state-of-the-art facility here on Jerome Avenue. We're actually having our first summer camp there as well. And so the summer is so interesting. The kids are so excited to be here. They've been indoors, they've had the remote learning, and they're excited. We have a swim camp here. And so students in all of our programs are attending our swim camp. They are learning how to swim, and it's important for children of color to learn how to swim. As you know, the statistics are dire about students, about children of color drowning and their capacity to learn how to swim. So we are super excited. The summer is what we are used to prior to COVID ravaging this community. So we're super excited about summer.
Excited to see the kids' faces. I'm sure, obviously, when we've had nothing but virtual for a long period of time. What's it been like for them having the ability to actually connect on a personal level?
It's so interesting. They connect right away. They make friends the first day. Then they're inseparable. And so you see the smile of their faces. They're like, "Oh, you're my best friend now," right? And so that type of human interaction was so. It was taken away from them during COVID. And so now they have that opportunity to connect on a deeper level, not on a screen, and they are taking full advantage of it. And so we also have our college access programs operating. We have our community organizing programs operating, and also our workforce development programs are also in operation. So all of our programs are fully functional during the summer. We really don't take a break. The community needs us, and so we're here to service them in any way that we can.
Yeah. And so for people who want to find out about the services that you provide and the things that you do, give people an opportunity to know how they can connect with you.
Sure. They can go to newsettlement.org and really take a look at all of our programs, and our contact information is there. And if there's anything, there's a way that they can actually send us a communication on our website. So feel free to visit, and we look forward to welcoming you in any one of our programs in the near future.
Yeah. And before we go, tell us a little bit about your staff. Obviously, you got some great staff working there. What has it been like, given the fact that the last 15 months we've been the way that we have? How's it been for the staff?
The staff has really been the backbone of this organization. They have put our families and our students first above their own needs. They show up to work every day. And their commitment and dedication to the Mount Eden section of the Bronx and the Bronx overall has been second to none. And so we have staff members that are alumni of the program, and they know firsthand how much this program means to this community. We have staff from the neighborhood. They see their kids in the street saying, "Hey, why are you not in after school program? Let's go." And so they continue to be engaged and they are committed. And so I am happy to lead a workforce of dedicated professionals that we have here at New Settlement.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Juan, thank you for coming and being with us and sharing a little bit about the organization. Great work that's going on over there at New Settlement. Rigaud, we're glad to have you.
Thank you, Daren. I appreciate the opportunity. And thank you for continuing to tell the much needed stories here in the Bronx.
Got to tell them, and there's a lot of positive stories, and we rely on people such as yourself to be able to bring them to us because there's some great people doing some great things. We just have to be that bridge. I'm glad I can be that bridge, and I'm glad you're on the other side of that bridge.
Thank you.
All righty. Rigaud's our guest here on the Social Justice Forums. We encourage you to stay with us. We got more show. We'll be back in a few.